We're live on Facebook right now, and we are.
Yeah, we'll be on Facebook Live and we'll be on YouTube Live. So,
and we're live on YouTube.
All right, everybody, we are here. It's a very, very big, exciting night. We want to try to cut through all the, stuff real quick and just get into the show. We have Seth tonight for approximately 45 minutes. So we want to get this going. Everyone out in YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are watching from, the man, Seth Gilliam, Father Gabriel, is with us tonight.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Here he is. Seth, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody. What's going on?
And everyone is just they're out of their mind right now. All right. So, Mr. Gilliam. Seth.
Yes.
What can I call you? No.
Don't be Seth.
No. All right. So, Seth, we're going to dive right into fan questions. We're going to try to get to everybody. Obviously, there's a lot here. Real quick, your background. You started around what age?
Started acting?
Yes.
Yep.
I guess I started studying it when I was 13 years old, when I got into the High School of Performing Arts.
Okay.
So I went there from 13 to 17, and then I went to a theater training program at State University of New York in Purchase.
Right.
And graduated from there in 1990, and I got a job about 2 weeks after I graduated, and I've been pretty fortunate since.
Yeah, it's been quite a ride for you. I mean, you've done plays. You say you like doing plays because you have immediate interaction with the people.
Yes, yeah, I prefer doing theater to film or television,
Right.
because you don't get a second chance. So you've got to kind of be locked in.
Right.
And each performance is different. Each relationship with the audience is different. And I just get an incredible adrenaline rush from it, from the live theater, from the working without a safety net.
Very cool. You've been on a lot of. You're still a frequent on MTV, right, for Teen Wolf?
Yes, I think there should be at least one more episode of Dr. Deaton.
Okay.
On Teen Wolf.
All right.
I wasn't able to do as many as they had asked because of the schedule with The Walking Dead. They were shooting simultaneously.
Right.
And the few seasons beforehand, it'd been kind of staggered, and I was able to go and do more episodes. So, unfortunately, I didn't do as many as I would have liked.
Now, the first time I ever, I want to say, noticed you or you came into my life as an actor was on Oz.
Oz.
Yeah. Playing a prison inmate, a really
Deranged?
Yeah, deranged.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
Trauma as a child.
Yeah, I mean the character you played was Lieutenant. Right, he was Lieutenant. The hell, Lieutenant?
No, he was a prison guard.
Right, he was a prison guard.
Who tried to kill the governor and wound up getting put into the prison himself.
Right, but yes, he was like
the character.
Okay.
Yeah. Clayton Hughes.
Clayton Hughes, yes, that was a lieutenant. I think they call it. Well, I think your official title was lieutenant, but that's how I remembered you as.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that character. Real quick, just because Ryan really, he's younger than I am, and he did. He's like, Oz, what's Oz? And I'm like, oh, let me show you Oz.
Dude, Oz was groundbreaking. Oz was fantastic show, and if you watch it now, pretty much every actor in New York was on Oz at one point or another.
Yeah.
And I find it interesting that Dean Winters, who played O'Reilly on the show, who was just a master manipulator, and J.K. Simmons, who played Schillinger on the show, who was this crazed neo-Nazi.
Right.
Yeah, they wound up being responsible for half the deaths on Oz.
Yeah.
And yet here they are now selling life insurance.
Well, hey, life is crazy. But yeah, so that's where I really got to see you for my first time was on Oz, and then you were on The Wire.
Yeah.
You did a decent amount of time on The Wire.
I did all but 2 episodes on that.
Yeah.
I did like 58 out of 60 episodes. And the thing about The Wire, which I personally still believe is the best written show in the history of television.
Right.
The thing about The Wire is that people weren't watching it when we were on. We had a very small audience. A lot of people came to the show after it was off the air. So, people will stop me in the streets even now, 10, 12 years later, and say, oh, why did that show go off the air? And at first I would say, because you wasn't watching it. That's why. You don't watch, they take you off the air.
Yeah.
But I've gotten over that bitterness because so many people have discovered the show after.
Gotcha. Yeah, and you can go on too. You can watch it on Netflix. You can find it anywhere. I mean, you go on Amazon TV. You can watch The Wire.
It's a fantastic show.
It was a great show. All right, so obviously the brunt of tonight is going to be about The Walking Dead. Mm-hmm. Just wanted to give everybody a little snippet of your background and bring them up to speed, in case whatever. So Renee has a question. She says, "What is your favorite quality of Father Gabriel?"
Favorite quality about Father Gabriel? I think it's his softness, actually. And he's a soft-spoken guy. He's a very empathetic guy, and I like those qualities about him, particularly in a show where so many people have hardened edges. He's still kind of soft around the corners.
Yeah. My personal take on what you are now in season 7 going into season 8. In my eyes, when I talk about the show and I've any kind of relation with you involved, I say Father Gabriel to me has become Rick's new Herschel. And that's kind of how I see you now becoming.
You kind of keep him grounded.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty fair to say that he's kind of like a right-hand man, a bit of a moral compass, reminding Rick of his humanity.
Right.
But at the same time, giving him his full support, and letting him know that he's got his back.
And letting people know that when they're being a stupid little shit, that they're being a stupid little shit.
Yes. I think that takes a great deal of compassion.
Absolutely.
To share with people the truth about themselves and in hard moments. And I think he does that. And I think he does it kind of soft enough so that it's receivable to people.
Right.
He's not aggressive with it so that they get defensive and shut down. I guess that's kind of what I mean by one of his softer qualities is his ability to recognize when people are in pain or are in distress and be able to approach them without them getting their guards up. He's done it with Rosita, did it a little bit with Tara in the car, with Jesus when we attacked the outpost.
Right.
Did it for Spencer before he was gutted.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, some of those scenes, you get to witness a lot of those stuff, like as it's filming, as you're doing those type of things, like the gutting of Spencer.
Whenever I'm on set for the day, I will watch everybody work.
Yeah.
There have been a fey times when I've gone on to set when I'm not working, and those times have been when it's been people's last scene who've been killed off, and I just want to show support.
Right.
But
okay.
I watch everybody work. It's fantastic work being put out on the show.
Right. Yeah, I mean, working with Andrew Lincoln, from what I've heard from other people, is that he's just he makes you stay here.
Yes, he does. His level of commitment is spectacular, and he stays in character the entire time, and he's indefatigable. He's just always up.
Right.
And you don't want to let that down. You want to match it. I think as a number one on the call sheet, he's pretty much the bravest and the most professional number one on the call sheet that I've worked with because he leads by example. And he's not afraid to share.
Okay, yeah.
Which is great.
Right, yeah. That's awesome. Next question we have is from Ezekiel. I'm not sure if that's their real name or that's their Twitter name, but either way.
His Twitter name, yeah, Ezekiel.
Yeah. It says, have you ever gotten nightmares from The Walking Dead?
I have not gotten nightmares from The Walking Dead, but my 11-year-old son, who has seen maybe 2 scenes of it, and he's only seen 2 scenes because he had nightmares for like a couple of weeks. He's a very active imagination. But no, I don't get nightmares from the show. I just get grossed out from the show.
It's understandable. Were you into the genre at all, like growing up?
I was not. I'm more of a sci-fi fan. Either sci-fi or kitchen sink dramas.
That's this guy right here, sci-fi boy.
Oh yeah, you like sci-fi?
Oh yeah.
You ever see Starship Troopers?
Yes.
I was gonna bring it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a fun popcorn movie.
Absolutely.
Let's go. Next question is Susan Graham. She says,
Hey, Susan Graham.
Yes. She says, I noticed that Seth speaks in a very measured and calm way in real life. Does that help him with Father Gabriel's speeches and transfer over to the character?
Yeah, I haven't really thought of it. I have to say that Father Gabriel is the slowest speaking character that I have played, and that's a conscious thought. So perhaps it does. Perhaps subconsciously it's crossed over. But you were mentioning The Wire before, and the character that I played on The Wire was very loud and fast spoken, and I tended to in dramas play kind of high energy guys, and Father Gabriel is not.
Right.
And one thing that I noticed from my own dealings of going to church and watching priests, and then from the three priests that I spoke to after I got offered the role, is that they're all very measured in their speaking. You never get the sense that they're just speaking off the top of their head.
Right.
Calculated.
Yes. Yeah. Gotcha. All right, we have a few questions from Cynthia. We kind of already covered in the beginning. We covered about how old you were when you started acting. What was the second part to that she had was, what was your drive or inspiration to go into acting? Was it someone you saw on film or theater?
Yes, I grew up in the 70s, and my three idols were Robert De Niro, Dustin Hoffman, and Al Pacino.
Oh, God.
And at that point, I was a very small kid. And what drew me to them is that I read that there was none of them are over 5'9".
Okay.
Or over, at that point, 180 pounds.
Right.
And yet they were powerful and forceful and terrifying and intense. And that drew me to acting. I felt like it was something that I could do, is get out of my tiny little bony body and my very, at that point, high-pitched voice and play other characters and find some strength through that I could then apply to my own personal life. So those guys got me started. And the level of intensity and commitment that they had disappearing into roles made me want to try to do the same thing.
Very cool. Real quick, everybody, we're going to run a contest. Kind of forgot to go over this in the beginning, but just...
That's creepy.
Yeah. Ooh, man. Did we did you put that up by any chance? All right. Well, we're going to replay that one because we didn't put it in here. So we're going to run a contest for a piece of Oscar's art. It's this Father Gabriel piece behind us.
Yes.
Father Gabriel, Seth, sorry, I keep calling Father Gabriel. Seth is going to say a word. The word of the night is going to be creepy. Creepy. The word of the night is going to be creepy. And if he says creepy, then type in, and the first person to respond after hearing him say creepy wins that beautiful artwork behind us. Real quick, the artwork behind us, we have some really nice stuff, obviously, all over. We have Oscar stuff. We have a picture of Caleb over here from the Lurker. Caleb's another great artist that we deal with out of Ohio. Big fan of yours. And just like...
Caleb Tucker?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Huge fan of yours. So, all right. Where are we? We are at... what has been your favorite episode so far that you've shot on The Walking Dead?
I think it remains my first episode. Starting from the very first shot that I did was screaming on top of the rock.
Right.
And the waterlogged food bank walkers, were particularly gross. Mm-hmm. Had to wear a wetsuit and be shot in a tank of 3 feet of water all day long. It was unlike anything I'd ever done before.
Right.
And we kind of hit the ground running. And that remains, I guess, for sentimental reasons, my favorite episode.
Was there any kind of like when you went for the auditioning of that? Whatever you were reading for the character, was there any kind of was it for Father Gabriel, or was it just for any kind of?
No, it was. I read for Scott Gimple in Los Angeles, and the scene was a high school guidance counselor who had a student come to him and tell him that he was feeling suicidal and murderous. But the high school guidance counselor had like a date or something like that, and didn't really give the kid the time,
right.
Just kind of left him hanging. Then the kid goes and murders like 5 classmates and kills himself.
Oh.
And a week or so later, the kid's sister comes in to confront the guidance counselor, saying, "I know he came to you beforehand for help. I know he reached out, and I know you shut him down. I don't know how you can live with yourself. You could," that was the parallel of Father Gabriel's secret of having not shown up in the moment when he could have,
right,
to protect his parishioners, and them all being eaten alive.
Damn, that's deep.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's deep.
That's intense.
So I went on the show because I hadn't watched the show at that point, and I hadn't read the comics. I went on the show thinking, I thought I was going to be playing a high school guidance counselor. Some kind, stowed away at a high school.
Yeah. All right. That's deep, man. Wow. So you get on set, right? And now you know who you're gonna be. Did you? I guess after that, did you get to did you go and grab a comic book or anything like that to kind of see what this character was like?
I grabbed, I think it was issue 61, I think, maybe?
Yep.
Where Father Gabriel is introduced.
Yep.
I read that. It was like Night of the Hunters or something like that. I can't recall.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put it down because at that point it was too late to try to read and catch up.
Right.
And I also had known from reading about the show after I got the offer that they had changed around some storylines of characters.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to read and get attached to something that wasn't going to be for me ultimately. Aside from reading that first issue and speaking to the 3 different priests, that was pretty much the preparation that I did.
You spoke to 3 different priests?
Yeah.
Wow.
An Episcopalian priest and 2 Catholic priests.
Did they think that was creepy at all?
No, they didn't. They were actually kind of flattered that somebody would want to know, the inner workings of what it takes to be a priest. And I think one of them thought that perhaps I was asking because I was thinking of the priesthood for myself. An actor going to be playing a priest.
Yeah.
He was trying to recruit me, I guess.
Yeah, there he got a pamphlet here.
Yeah, exactly.
Our boy Matty. For those of you who didn't get to see the pre-show, Matt is sitting on the sidelines over here, just involved in the moment tonight.
Does Matt ever show himself on camera?
Matt does. Matt, real quick backstory. Matt and I started this 2 years ago plus. We started it with a laptop and a microphone, and we did nothing but audio.
Oh, okay.
And we just talked. And that's how we started picking up steam. And then this past year, we decided to do a show with one of the actors from the show and was like, hey, I have a lot of fans, can we do it live? And we're like, what? Absolutely, we can go live. No fucking idea what we were doing. So all of a sudden we're like, what do we do to go live? How do we do it live? So we scrambled for a whole week, bought some programming, upgraded the computer, did this, did that, and did our first live show. It was a debacle. It wasn't a debacle, but there was definitely glitches and problems. And then the following week, it just seemed like it was going to get worse. The following week, we had another person from the show, and that show was all screwy. But what we did as a backup is we would use a camcorder and film it, so that way we had a backup and we could just upload the recording from the camera. It kind of sucked because it was what it was, but now we got it down to a science. So now, just as long as Skype cooperates, we're okay. That's Skype just has to do their job. So yeah, Matt kind of he's busy right now. He's got a baby on the way, and he's
Matt himself is pregnant?
yes, Matt himself is packed on some baby weight. Let me tell you. Matt,
messed up, Seth. It's messed up, man.
He's got some things churning or whatever that has been, pulled him away for a little bit. We know he'll be back, but it's just a matter of time. He just didn't want to miss this moment because our dream when we first started was we want a top 10 from the show. And tonight has happened. We have a top 10 from the show.
Cool.
So,
I'm happy to be a part of it.
We're happy you're here. All right. Maddie's question. How do you feel about Father Gabriel's character development from season 5 to now?
I'm excited by it. I mean, I have to be honest. I didn't have a problem with playing the weak link. How do you know if someone's a hero if there's no one to save? But I'm excited by the evolution of the character. It wasn't something that I saw coming. I quite frankly didn't think the guy would last more than 3 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, without the whole killing aspect and being very, I don't want to call him a coward, but
I'll call him that because I honestly, at first, I really did think that. I will fully admit that at first. I was like, why is this guy acting like such a coward?
I was thinking of just inexperience. Like, this guy's probably never killed anybody in his life. He's a priest.
You have to remember, he's a priest. People who who go into the priesthood by their very nature are more of a pacifist and less aggressive than your average bear to begin with.
I liked you more than Eugene, though. So I mean,
there you go.
Okay. I think some people had a problem with Father Gabriel. My own personal opinion is that I think a lot more people would behave the way Father Gabriel would in a crisis situation than they would the way Rick or Daryl was.
Probably.
And I think that bothered people because everyone likes to envision themselves as the hero, or envision themselves as doing the right thing, or the noble thing, or the selfless thing in those moments. And I think people are far more complicated than that.
Right.
And, the survival instinct is strong. I think, people who imagine themselves fighting would probably, in actuality, see themselves running away. And I think that got under people's skin,
Yeah, we posted this question one night, just talking. It was like, if you really think about it, could you turn around? This situation happens. The whole world goes to shit. Everybody's zombies or whatever. Could you turn around and go ahead and kill your 3-year-old nephew or your 2-year-old brother or sister? Could you?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't.
Yeah. It's hardcore stuff. It's one of the reasons why I love Morgan's journey,
Exactly. Yeah. That's another one of Matt's favorites is Morgan. For me, Morgan was more of a coward.
Does Matt only like the black guys?
Hold on.
Sticking with the brothers, baby.
I love my Michonne, man. Let me tell you something. That woman she's my warrior princess. That chick. So, yeah, I mean, he loved him some Morgan, and to me, Morgan was more of a coward than you could ever be as Father Gabriel. With the whole the innocent, I don't want to kill thing no more. I get it. I get it, but man, I hated it. But whatever. All right, we have a question from Tiffany. Tiffany says, do you think... Now, Tiff, I know this isn't the exact question you asked, but, do you think Father Gabriel ever wants to set aside his religious beliefs and let loose?
Set aside his religious beliefs and let loose. I personally do not believe that Father Gabriel would want to do that. I had a little backstory going with the church lady that we saw pictures of, and a kind of unrequited love type of a thing. But, if it were to happen, let's go big. Let's start out with, an orgy. Or, why not?
Let's go big, he says. Let's just go big or go home.
I think it's quite possible that Father Gabriel is a virgin,
Oh, I guess, yeah, you're right. I guess it is a very strong possibility. You're right. All right, this is...
Way to lose it than with Rosita and Tara,
It's true. Yes. A question from Jeannie and Nick. I know you are familiar with them. First question from them. They have a few here. First question from them is, what is the strangest question a fan has asked you at a Walker Stalker Con?
Strangest question that a fan has asked me. Have I ever performed a marriage, and would I like to perform a marriage?
Have you ever performed a marriage? Okay.
And then they proceeded to go on and advise me that I could get licensed through the internet and perform weddings at Walker Stalker conventions.
Very nice. That's it. And you know what? If you want to get married by Seth, did you go do it?
I did not.
Oh, that's an extra $150 in your pocket, man. Like,
I know, that's like easy cash, man.
Another one from Jeannie and Nick. It says, during the outpost scene, when you kill, how did you feel when you killed the Savior out in the field in the outpost scene? How was that for Father Gabriel? Because you kind of said like a little prayer for him.
Yes. I think that was probably one of the calmest moments that Father Gabriel has had in his adult life. I think he had already decided going into it that he knew he was going to have to do something. He was going to have to cross a line. And I think he steeled himself forward. And I tried to play it that way, that there was a kind of a serenity, kind of, giving in to the fact that this is the way I have to be in this world now. And God approves, So I'm not going to beat myself up for it. And I'm not going to feel any guilt about this. Yeah. This is part of God's plan. And in accepting that, a kind of peace comes over me.
Very nice. That's a very good answer. Because
I don't know if it's being played that way, but that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, it was very calm. It was very. It was precise in the moment. I mean, and that kind of leads up to their next question, which they had was, in your opinion, what's the best quote Father Gabriel has ever said? For me, I'd say that probably the little prayer you said before you, not really a quote, but probably one of the better scenes that you've had as far as interaction with taking someone's life. Yeah,
no, I think that moment goes great. I think having the thought doesn't make you a sinner. But it does make an incredible shit. Right.
That is a good one too, and that's definitely fresher in everyone else's memories. Yeah. That's from season 7. I forgot what episode that was, but that's season 7, episode. I think I want to say 10 or 12. Was that it? No, that wasn't the very last episode.
No, it wasn't the last one.
No, I think it might have been 8 or 10. One of those. Favorite acting role.
Favorite acting role.
Yes.
Sergeant Ellis Carver on The Wire.
Okay, very good. And if you couldn't be an actor, what would you want to be?
I'd want to be an architect. I'd want to use my imagination and come up with building something out of nothing. Or looking at a blank space and then putting something up in it. It's kind of similar to acting.
Actually, it is. Matt, didn't you say you wanted to be an architect one day? Was it you?
Yeah.
Engineer, architect, yeah. Okay. Another question from Ezekiel. What was the hardest or most physically demanding scene you've had to shoot in The Walking Dead?
It was the water-logged food bank because they gave me a wetsuit to put on, and I was very nervous. It may have been my third scene,
right,
ever on the show. And I was very nervous, but I had to climb up on top of a ladder and crouch right underneath some lights, waiting for my cue to plunge down into the water. And between the nerves, the heat of the lights, and the wetsuit containing my own body heat, I started to pass out. And I remember thinking to myself, don't pass out. If you pass out, they will fire you. If you pass out, they will fire you. You will drown, and they will fire you. Because you will fall into the water, and they will think you are acting, and you will drown, and they realize, and then when they revive you, they will fire you.
That is some serious, deep thought process right there.
Yeah. Usually I try to think the real thoughts of the character before a scene. That was maybe one of 3 times where I was just thinking.
Seth first. Yeah, Seth first. Let's go Seth first on this one. Gotta do me, baby. What favorite hobby outside of acting and working? Something you really enjoy?
I'm a big bicycle rider. I like to ride bikes, and I don't watch a lot of television. I watch mostly sporting events. But there's a show on the Travel Channel called Ghost Adventures.
Oh,
with Zach Baggins.
Okay.
Well, I love Ghost Adventures.
And I love Ghost Adventures. You like Ghost Adventures, Randy?
That's actually how I got started on Beast Mode.
Oh,
Is because around October time last year,
Yep.
Chris and Matt asked me to come on the show because I've taken a break from it, but I used to do paranormal investigations, and I did it from the time I was 18 until I was 24. And they asked me to come on and show my equipment, things like that, and then they asked me to come back.
Show your equipment. Sorry. It's just one of those things where it's like phrasing, you know? Come on the show and show me your equipment, Ryan.
Show me your gug.
Sorry. I completely ruined this moment. I do that a lot.
So since we're already on this kind of like inappropriate wave, apparently CJ said that during filming you smacked his ass once, and he never got to thank you for it.
Who's CJ?
CJ Rhodes, he was a savior. Charles.
Oh, okay.
Charles.
This is where I mess up the name because we're terrible with names.
Yeah, Charles is his real name, but he plays as a savior.
Yeah, I may have smacked an ass or two.
Okay. You like to keep it fresh? Good games. They're called good games in my world. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Well,
yeah, you know, at the end of the day, usually because we work together during the day at my first job, we work together. You know, so at the end of the day, I like to give him a good game. Say, you did a good job today, you know? Kind of good, you know, it's a sign-off.
Yeah.
hit him if he flinches.
Yeah. If he does flinch after that, I got to punch him twice.
That's the abuse I go through.
Linda has a question. She says, what is the hardest thing you've ever had to deal with on set? I don't know if I get...
to stuff an infant underneath my meat poncho and then walk through a sea of walkers with them.
Really?
Working with toddlers can be challenging. And, you know, nobody wants to have a disgusting meat poncho thrown over their head.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to do that, you know, when Father Gabriel offers to take baby Judith to safety after the walkers overrun Alexandria. And that was hard. That was hard because they were like, oh, maybe we can use the doll. But then, you know, you could see that it was a doll, so you have to use the child. And she was crying like crazy. And at that point, the only person who could calm her down was Chandler.
Mm-hmm.
So he became kind of like the baby wrangler, you know, the baby whisperer. So that was difficult to do because I was trying to stay in character, but at the same time, you know, acknowledge that this infant is an actor. You know, just is here being passed around.
Right. Yeah. Well, and so those cloaks you were wearing, that was actual meat on them?
Yeah. Ponchos.
Really?
Yes. Andrew Lincoln coined that because they were just human flesh.
Meat ponchos.
On top of a sheet.
Okay. All right. Next question is from Katie. This one's actually about Teen Wolf. And The Walking Dead. So it says, how did being on Teen Wolf and The Walking Dead impact your life?
There's a second part to the question.
Well, I think Teen Wolf introduced me to a whole new audience of young people, which has been great for me. And The Walking Dead is just basically changed everything. I've been an actor for, oh boy, is it 27 years now? I've been an actor for 27 years, and I've had, you know, people stop me on the streets from time to time and say, oh, I love you in this or I love you in that. But now it's just like everywhere I go, like 1 out of every 4 people seems to know The Walking Dead, you know. So it's a very different experience for me now than it had been just, you know, 4.5 short years ago.
Yeah. The size of the Walking Dead family is just and the overwhelming response you get from the people who enjoy the show. It's obviously we wouldn't be here without it. None of us would be here without it. So, we see. We have a question from Max Long. Got it, right?
Yeah,
Max?
favorite episode.
Your favorite episode that you've filmed so far in the show?
Again, it's my
Introductory.
It's kind of a tie between my first episode and my second episode. And the second episode is my favorite because of Father Gabriel's confession, which for me was a lot of fun to play.
Right.
And the first episode because of the extreme circumstances that we were working in, with the wetsuit and the flooded basement.
Gotcha. What do we got? Linda says, who is your favorite character in the show, that you work with? Or,
My favorite character is Rick. It was Carol for a while, and then it's shifted back to Rick. And my favorite actor to work with on the show is Andrew Lincoln.
Okay.
Because of what I'd mentioned before about his level of commitment and his energy and his generosity.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, hey, like Rick is. We always joke around. Everyone calls me the Rick of Beast Mode, because I guess I just kind of have that aura about me.
Aura is a good word for it.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because Ryan is my Eugene.
That's because of my smarts.
He's very top heavy. You know what I mean? See this? Look at this! Look at this thing. I love you. It's okay.
Whatever you say, Juan Chenna.
Yeah, they call me Juan Chenna. I'm John Cena's cousin, Juan Chenna. Got him.
That's good.
I got him. Okay. We have a question from Michelle. It says, "What is the weirdest gift a fan? What is the weirdest gift a fan? Do you know how to write?
What is the weirdest gift a fan?
What is this? What is the weirdest gift you've ever received from a fan?
There we go.
I don't know. A bunch of cool stuff. I think the weirdest one might have been a necklace with a miniature Lucille bat pendant on it.
Ah, that's pretty cool.
Okay.
And if I wear this, what am I saying exactly to the world around me?
Yeah. According to what we see in what's going to happen in season 8 on the trailer they released, you're going to be really close to Lucille.
Yeah.
So maybe that was a little little teaser. Maybe she knew something we didn't know, or he knew something we didn't know.
Maybe she's prescient and can see the future.
Maybe. So yeah, there's that.
Necklace would make me a little more Team Negan than I'm comfortable doing.
Yeah, exactly. Oscar's here. He says hello, by the way.
Tell him what's up.
Oscar, obviously you just heard him say what's up. What's up? Linda says, if Father Gabriel has to die, how would you want him to die?
The way he does in the comic books looks like a fantastic death to have. I think that would. I mean, it's like a 4-page spread of just horror, hanging, dangling, waiting, to die, being cut open, and I don't know if he gets his throat sliced or just his belly opened or whatever it is, and then fed to the bone.
Yeah.
That's high drama.
Yeah, if you guys haven't been able to check into the comic book at all, as far as where Father Gabriel dies, it is pretty gruesome. It's very detailed. And like Seth says, it's page by page. So yeah, a little spoiler, I guess. There, we're hoping that Seth obviously does not go out that way. Hoping that you stay around. Obviously, maybe hopefully a little bit longer. I know that in the show they've been able to pull a character a little bit longer than normal. and obviously they can write whatever they want and keep people around as long as they want. So, what's his name? Posey?
Yeah, Tyler Posey.
Katie wants to know what was it like working with Tyler Posey?
Tyler Posey is a fantastic young guy who's very much in the vein of Andrew Lincoln. He leads by example. He's tireless, and he's got a terrific sense of humor and keeps things very light and makes it fun. Working on Teen Wolf helped to keep me young, and Tyler and Dylan O'Brien were a good reason because of that. I mean, they would fart on each other right before taking me rolling. Action, and then they're like in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, listen, nothing breaks the ice like a little fart humor. You know what I mean? Like, we're guys. Like we let it go at least. I don't know. I'm gonna say 40 times a day. It's just average. Maybe that's just me.
40 times is average. You might want to.
I was just throwing a number out there, trying to feel it out, throwing it out, see if you pick it up. Any questions? What do you got over there? Okay. Will we ever find out why or what made? Why am I gonna ask him this?
I don't know. Your sister asked.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess talking about the enemy in Negan. Do you think that they'll kill him off on the show, or do you think they'll keep him alive like they did in the comic book?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is a great asset to have on your show. I don't know if you'd want to lose an actor like that.
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic character. Do you want to see him go? I mean, isn't that what Kirkman said, that they just have too much fun writing him to kill him off or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, like there's a lot of things, especially like people like Daryl who aren't even in the comic book, and you kind of wonder when these roads are going to come to an end, or so to speak. So it's they keep it. The directors and the writers you guys work with definitely keep it interesting.
Yes, they do. They work very hard to do so.
Yeah. There's times where I feel like I got it figured out and I know what's going on, and then you get completely snowballed, and it's just it's like, well, I could never even think of that. Someone wants to know. Well, as of right now, we spoke in the beginning of the show, but Seth doesn't have any other. You don't have any other projects going off in the wings right now?
No, I don't. I mean, for the last few years, I had both Teen Wolf and The Walking Dead. But no, I don't.
Okay, so as of right now, he's good. He's good with just The Walking Dead. It's very demanding. It's not like he could just go and play Teen Wolf on MTV whenever he wants. Would you rather play Father Gabriel over, Teen Wolf?
They're apples and oranges. I mean, Dr. Deaton on Teen Wolf was, a badass guy who had all the answers. He was kind of like a guru. Whereas Father Gabriel was, searching for, answers and clues. They're apples and oranges. They kind of, for a while, they helped to balance me out playing both at the same time.
Yeah. Well,
it's like trying to pick, one of your kids over the other.
Right. I got
You might love one of them more than the other, but you can't say it.
Well, I guess that was kind of like putting you on the spot there too. So my bad. We got to see you guys when you first met the heapsters, the scavengers, trash people, whatever you want to call them. Last week we got to interview the woman that you put a knife to her neck, Sabrina. Yes. And we discussed that scene with her. I tried to get her point of view. That's pretty much, besides we went through your kill streaks, by the way. So season 5 you had 2. Season 6 you had 4. Season 7 you had 2. Going into season 8, you got a predicted outcome for how many people you're going to take out? Do you want it to be higher than 4?
Do you have a goal?
You got a goal here? You want to go on a killing spree?
No, I don't really need to see Father Gabriel killing a lot of people.
Right.
I'd rather see him comforting people.
Okay.
But that being said, it's fun to run around with an AR-15 and spray blank bullets all over the place.
Give him a little,
Yes.
I hate to do this right now, but maybe that could be something you throw in there one day. You're on scene, you're like, you know what? If I see you do it, I'm gonna be like, oh you. Very cool. So, all right. So that scene right there. You put a knife to her neck. Probably one of my. Do you have to make all this noise? Probably one of my jump up moments for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just a power move. Something that I think we were all knew you could do and waiting for it.
Yeah.
You see that coming? Is that moment for you? Do you feel like that was a coming out moment almost? Like, I know you had killed people, but that decisive, it's a knife and it's to a woman's neck.
Yeah. I think it was definitely a bit of a coming out moment for Father Gabriel. It would have really been fully out of the closet if he just slit her throat,
Right.
Like, in the middle of talking. Just, I'm tired of holding the knife.
Yeah. and you're still able, you have a point to get across, and you know what? This will get someone's attention more than anything.
Yes.
And it's actually very interesting because we actually interviewed her last week.
Yeah. So it's cool to
Sabrina.
have that, flip flop like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything would you say was creepy on the show? Did you get creeped out?
I get creeped out. I get creeped out by Negan's smile. I find creepy.
You find creepy? Negan,
Yeah, because it's sinister. I mean, Jeffrey is really good with the pretty smile that is hiding some sinister, dastardly thoughts.
Right.
You hate to love him.
Yeah, you do. And, and he has such a huge following just because he makes that character. He's aces with it.
Decibel. You know what I mean?
Renee.
Yeah,
Renee's the winner. Renee, you win. Good job.
Hey.
Nice. Oh, look, now they're all following in. Oh, my God. He's that creepy.
Are you watching on YouTube Live?
Okay. Renee wins. Renee, very good. Congratulations. You're going to get yourself some beautiful Father Gabriel art.
Make sure you DM us after.
Yeah, Renee, DM us. I'm pretty sure I have your address from previous stuff and all that, but just send us that DM and we'll get this mailed out to you. Awesome. With that, everyone, we've kept this gentleman for almost 50 minutes, and we know that he's got a life. He's got things to get to and tend to. I want to say from all of us, I hope you had a good time. I hope we hope it was entertaining for you as it was for us.
It was, yeah. I mean, I was pretty nervous, this being my first podcast, but you guys made it very easy for me. Thank you.
You hear that? We broke his cherry. we took his podcast cherry and popped it.
Remember the whole thing about phrasing?
Yeah. I've been feeling him out, and I felt comfortable with Seth being comfortable with me saying that.
I don't have a fucking problem.
Yes! That's awesome. Everyone's saying thank you. Huge following for you tonight. Everyone's super, super happy for you spending time with us.
Cool.
Thank you for answering their questions. Thank you for spending time with them. Everything. So, going forward, obviously, we wish you the best of luck.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hope you make it through season 8. Hope we see you in 9 and 10 or whatever happens.
Seth Gilliam is Father Gabriel in The Walking Dead.
Yes, no matter, and I'm just going to give my blessings.
Yes, thank you.
So, just best of luck in everything you do.
Door's always open.
Yeah.
If you ever want to come back on, just let us know.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe after season 8, we'll see what happens through the season. Hopefully, or whatever.
Maybe we'll have a very Father Gabriel heavy episode like we did with
Yeah.
with Tara at
Oh, yeah.
Oceanside, something like that. Maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe get you back on and kind of get your reflection on it.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. That sounds like a blast.
I would definitely love to have you back. When we say goodbye to them, just give us like 2 minutes, offline, real quick. All right. Everybody, thanks again for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Seth, want to say goodnight to everybody?
I just want to thank everybody for joining us, and I appreciate all the attention you guys put into it, and the questions that you had for us, and thanks.
By the way, Susie says hello and she loves you. I mean, Lucy. Lucy, I'm sorry, Lucy. Susie said it too.
Yeah.
But Lucy said it first. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me, hey, Lucy, how you doing? Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Go subscribe to us, please, on YouTube.
Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah, hit us up.
Yep.
Get everything in there. Had a bunch of saviors watching you tonight, so they probably got your eyes on you for what's coming
Season
up.
8, yeah, I don't know.
So we got a big savior following in here, so it's crazy.
What that's all about.
Oscar says, "Love you, bro."
Peace out, sir.
Everybody. CJ says, "Slap him on his ass again." That's all. All right, everybody. Peace out. Beast Mode NY. Thank you for tuning in.
Later, guys.
Later.
Hold
1
on.
minute.
Yeah, this is...
Let's
This is
just.
always the uncomfortable.
Yeah. This is,
Okay,
still
let's
shit
finish
going.
this one because I know how to do that really easy. All right, there we go.
And then stop.
Live control room and...